Welcome back to the Bazaar. I'm rather incoherent, and today we're going to be playing some dueling. And I find myself in a weird place with dueling, where when I play dueling, I tend to do fairly well. I tend to be able to cobble together boards that are good, but with most of the cores, I kind of don't really have an opening vision for how the build is supposed to work. Today I'm going to be picking shield core, I'm going to be trying some stuff with the Forcefield and all that, and I end up with a pretty solid build. I'm fairly happy with how the build turns out, but God help me, I still don't really understand, like, the thing I'm supposed to be striving for with shield core builds. In spite of that, I do think it's a good run. I think it's an interesting run. I just don't really have a vision with shield core. When I go into a pig game or an ignition core game or a Vanessa game, I can tell you without clicking my starting item how I want the run to go. And I just don't have that understanding with most of the cores on Dually, but especially with the armored core. Anyway, let's get to the run. All right, getting into our opening items, we have friend core, crit core, shield core. I've never really had a shield core build that high rolled and got off the ground. I pick shield core, I never see duct tape, I never see force field, and I feel like I'm playing a very confused armadillo build most of the time when I get this. So I am gonna pick armored core just because I need to start playing this and figuring out how it works. It feels like a gaping hole in my knowledge of the game. Regardless though, we are still just gonna be going for all the experience events on day one and seeing what we random into for our build. You might think you're a shield core build, you should go to Haunted Kimono, but like, does 3 armor matter? Is Silk ever gonna be good? I honestly feel like I just go here for the higher chance of a fast item and a pelt on my day one fight. Whether it's more gold or just a fast item, I think this is better. All right, Sandstorm finally showed up to put an end to my non-violent protest. Let's see what we got. Hopefully not the skill. I'd say pelt's fine. I think it's probably better than the Fang. I'm glad Curio won't be our day one shop. I've had that happen to me too many times. Weapons versus non-weapons. This has a pretty solid chance of giving me Forcefield on day one. Actually, yeah, looking at this, Ayla's got a pretty limited day one supply. Armadillo and Forcefield are both 30% presumably per page. There's also a Chris Army knife in here. This is why I like having the overlay. I wouldn't have realized how small the day one Ayla pool is. I'd probably have been like, oh, I'm a shield build, go to Kina. The only thing here I care about is Forcefield, but no, it's Forcefield and Armadillo, and even Chris Army knife, and it's a very small pool. You go to Ayla, that's crazy. Going to take the Armadillo, and these are not fast enough to roll as my gut thought. But actually, Arc Blaster's pretty fast. It's charging off of the armored core itself. If I get a Forcefield, I have 1 item slot open, and the Forcefield itself would be tech. I am gonna take this before I roll.
Then come back and tell me.
They got Forcefield.
Hey, when you carry my weapon, I fight alongside you.
I'm not convinced this is actually a strong day one build.
Greetings.
Crit on shield items, huh? Guess I'm taking weapons deal 10 damage because I can't roll. This seems fine for day one. Like, not insane, but fine.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought Forcefield was tech. I don't actually know if that's true. Let me double check that. Yeah, it is a tech item. I would think him being an ammo build and me being a shield core start, I should be fine, but I'm very worried that's not true. Well, the revolver definitely won't kill me, but Sandstorm might. No, we win. Cool, crazy. I'm a little bit surprised I beat the 3 ammo silver double barrel. Since that is just 300 damage flat, we don't have that much speed on our side, but we got there. Cool. Glad I went to Ayla, because that seems like a very easy fight to lose. Well, if there's ever going to be a shield core that's good, it's presumably one where you immediately get Forcefield and realize your mistake was not picking the fight vendor on your shield build. I'm not thrilled about Jungle Ruins or Middle. Like, Armadillo is not that good. With my current build setup, at least. I don't have much money. Obviously, Cinders is bad. I think I'm going to go to Jungle Ruins. And we definitely take 1 XP over 50 max health. Mountain Pass for income or a chance at duct tape. That's tough. I tend to be super broke on my dually games. I'm going to go for income here. It's day 2. It's unlikely I get the fight. Income is just so valuable at this point. I should crush Rogue Scrapper because he doesn't attack that often, so my shield stacks up, right? So far, it doesn't feel like my shield's stacking up, but I am doing enough that since I scale, I should win. Yeah, we've got this. Don't really want the med kit. Maybe we'll find the new first aid in. I've got space on my board, but I'm still going for the highest gold return. Armadillo is going to be better than whatever random item I get. Kev against Lost Crate, huh? Kev's selection is pretty massive. There's a ton of trashy silver items, but on this day, it's really unlikely you get those silver items, and a lot more likely that you find, you know, Forcefield, Armadillo, tape, the things I actually care about. I love me some Lost Crate. It's one of the best events in the game, but Shield Core build on day 2 probably just has to go to Kev.
Scales? I can forge some for you.
At 5 seconds, I don't know that I would care about scaling an induction Aegis. Same with Wallace at 6. Welding Helmet is 2 slots, which is kind of a big ask. There's a real argument that currently something like this on the right is better than Forcefield. I'm just gonna roll. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought would happen when I came to Kev, is I would lose 6 gold and an experience by going to Kev instead of the crate. But there's such a huge chance of me getting relevant upgrades, or in particular tape, which I just desperately need. Again, let's lose 1 experience and go roll here for tape.
Not war.
I'm gonna grab the Wallace just because I'm gonna need something to put on my board later.
What you needed.
Disgusting. Just not very good at all, huh? Is Power Sander ever it? It does sort of effectively scale the force field, but like, I'd rather have something charging the shield core, I feel like. I don't think that's ever gonna be it. These have been some rough stores on day 2. Like, my build's still strong, but I did not get any of the setup I was hoping to have. Also, because it's before day 5 and this is Pig, I could just be instantly dead to Bob. Bob's a solid build all around, but before day 5, it basically just single item wins fights. He does auto lose against the force field build, but also I suspect that my opponent wasn't overly concerned with winning his day 2 fight based on the candy mail during PvP. Still though, day 2 feels pretty bad for me. I basically got no relevant items, no relevant skills, minimum experience. +1, I did beat Mod Squad, but like not particularly well. Let's see if we don't have all of my best stores competing with. God damn it! Stop doing this, Kev. I'll waste my money on you again. Don't think I won't. All right, it was rewarded this time. You still roll here. There's too many things you can get that are relevant. I'll actually just take both of these. It does improve my Armadillo a lot after I level. Is tape massive enough to go on my board currently? Probably not. I think the tape actually is worth it against like the fire damage guy. And also, it's a lot of Armadillo triggers now that I look at it.
Defeat you.
So I would think that we easily win. This guy is a little bit scary. There's just like more burn than you would expect for a weak day 3 enemy. But we're fine.
I flunked again.
Day 4, we'll get the Armored Core to silver. Get some more random shield guys to the left to speed us up and to buff the Armadillo. I think as we are, we beat him. If I played a more defensive build like this, that just focused on scaling shield as quickly as possible, I actually think that's stronger. Because this is never going to hit that hard, whereas this will scale shield faster. Yeah, Chris Army Knife is going to be better. Wallace is slow, but it's fine. I think this is the better build currently. And it definitely beats Scout Trooper, right? There's so much shield scaling here. All of my non-tech friends. The tech tag's just a little bit funny because, like, obviously it can be on a weapon, but like Armadillo, nope, he's just a robot, not tech. Chris Army Knife, Wallace, no, they're just robots, they're not tech. I understand why. Like, the tech tag would be insane if you accurately applied it to every single Dooley card, but that sort of just makes me feel like the tech tag shouldn't exist. Not so sure I want the weak point detector, but it's gold. Upgrade an item, get the core going. It's now scaling shield up by 15 every use. There's some pretty relevant weapons. I've got the gold. That's certainly one of them. And I'm happy enough with the Chris Army Knife upgrade. Oh, I think this goes over here. This comes out. This goes in. I think that's the best build currently. I will roll for potential Forcefield upgrade. Yeah, the whole board, that'll work. So this, I need 8, right? Toss that 2, hold on to the med kit. Well, my build seems really absurdly good for day 2. I don't really think Shield Core can be going harder than this on day 2. Just double check that I'm not, like, cooked out of my mind and should have been looking at Combat Core. I can't imagine I was supposed to be looking at Combat Core. It's just an early Combat Core. I didn't even really think about it, so I briefly did a double take. I have no money. All of these are pretty bad with no money. I'm honestly just gonna take a second medkit to buff Aiden through the moon or buff a restorative item. I think adding damage to my items is irrelevant. I have no burn, no poison, small amounts of damage won't affect me really. All right, so it's a 1-win pick. It's entirely possible he just found Bob on day 2 and I'm about to die. Because as good as my shield scaling is, I don't think it's remotely good enough to beat Bob. Bob is not here. I haven't seen Bob at all. This is the morning of the second day of the patch. I'm gonna check the Discord and see if Bob got hotfixed or removed or something. Because like people on Reddit were calling for it, which I thought was like an overreaction. Like he's obviously broken in the early days and strong late. But the fact they've seen literally 0 Bob this morning is a little bit confusing to me. And yeah, this guy doesn't stand a chance. It turns out that if you're up against a Forcefield build, you do kind of need consistent damage or else that happens to you. As a matter of fact, they did disable Beast of Burden immediately. They also turned off the crab on day 2 because it gives you the Crusher Claw, which can no longer be found. They wiped all the ghosts. So they got rid of Beast of Burden immediately during the second day. They're like, you know what? The fact he instantly guarantees wins for the first 5 days, that's not okay. And he's still a good build after that. Fucking fair. I'm glad to see it. Okay, so the world makes a lot more sense than it used to now. I'm glad my first video showed that like you can beat Beast of Burden with a totally fair and normal Caltrops build. What do I actually want now that I've got like the core of the build? I don't think Arc Blaster or Chris Army Knife are actually good. Would I rather just have like a pulse rifle to be faster? That can't be right. I genuinely don't know what goes over here on the left side. And spending tons of gold rolling at Orion doesn't sound like the play. Also, this is fast, but it's not charging the Armadillo. I feel like slowing down the amount of charge you get on Armored Core to get more charge on Armadillo. No, that's wrong. Just tape is so insane. I'm gonna take spare change. I don't feel like spending all my gold at Orion's gonna make me better. See, this is the problem. I see Lost Crate and I'm like, I don't know. Andy might have good stuff, but is it better than guaranteed 2 gold, 1 XP? I fucking doubt it.
I can help you, but you have to trust me.
Well, rear shielding is obviously very good here. And spending 4 gold to not get 30 shield on my Forcefield seems bad on days like 4 through 7. On day 8+, it'll be an irrelevant amount of damage. Who cares? But I very much think this is going to affect the outcome of fights on days 4 through 7. Day 8 and later, yeah, it's probably irrelevant, but I'm not spending my early game gold and hurting myself in these upcoming fights for it. And I'll check recap here to see how Arc Blaster is doing. Honestly, it probably is just doing a relevant amount of damage since it's already at silver. I can't imagine winning on like day 13 with my build the way it currently works. I know that you could, I didn't click recap. It's fine, I wasn't gonna be changing the build anyway. I know that you can make powerful late game builds with the Forcefield. For the life of me, I don't understand how that works though. I'll figure it out the hard way, we'll get to it. First Aiden would be very good.
I will free others.
I really don't see Brick Buddy working, like 6 item slots are just locked in on this build. There's no way to fit a Brick Buddy. Yeah, sorry, Chief. Hey, we got First Aiden and Armadillo. Gotta think that First Aiden is better with multiple medkits than the Arc Blaster. And there's no shield scaling that's really going to matter for that Elusive Ray. Very sincerely, this could be the final build. My board might never change from here. Oh, more medkits? Say less, fam. There's no reason to hold a Lucerant or Wallace. All of this is trash. I'm just waiting to find like Barcoon to sell it for more. 3-win Vanessa. I mean, if it's poison, I should destroy them because I'm a force field build, right? And if it's not poison, I should counter them because I'm a shield build, right? That is one big ass Langja with 42% crit chance, huh? Consider me a little bit alarmed. My shield scaling's not enough to survive getting crit by that even once. But if I can just kill him before it goes off a second time. Oh, that looks like a problem.
You fall
Yep.
like a boulder.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Hold up. This thing's at 689? Why is it at 689? There are only, like, assuming it's your starting silver item, there's only 7 guaranteed fights before this. He must have pretty much immediately found one on day 2 and gotten extra fights. That's fucking crazy. Little bit unlucky. So like logically, my heart tells me go to Kev, you need shield items. And I look at my board, I'm like, well, I don't want to replace First Aiden, who's kind of insane right now. I don't want to replace Chris Army Knife with anything really. Like what am I upgrading? What am I guess upgrading is the name of the game, but like the upgrades aren't even that individually impactful. Shielded enchants could be massive though. It can absolutely change the way the entire build goes. Chrono Barrier is probably not it. Shielded Blast Doors, huh? It feels so bad for like charging the core and playing proactively though. Power Sander's faster than First Aiden, but I value the haste, I value the healing. I can't see my build changing from this shop, unfortunately, and that feeling of aimless confusion is my major problem with Shield Dueling. Caribbean Rocket Trooper's normally a pretty sick fight, but I guess the best thing for me is Rocket Boots. It makes the Aiden like actually better than a gold Aiden at 55 healing, 3-second haste. The rest of this is just gold to me though. Eh, 8% crit's not nothing, but I'm not thrilled about it. We definitely kill Medusa since you're not going to interact with my poison, or my shield rather. There's no reason to go anywhere else.
Come to lay gold at my altar.
Vial of Blood's fine, Petrifying Gaze is great. Everything else is kind of useless except for the Clockwork Blades. I'm about to hit 7, that means gold core, so that's good. And 7 on day 5 is like the minimum threshold I'm kind of aiming for. In terms of experience, I want my guaranteed gold item before the day 5 PvP. It's just like, it's rough trying to envision how this wins on day 10. I don't understand the build. Upgrade a silver lower item, get the core going. I'm just going to take the abandoned chest. Because again, I don't know what I'm trying to find to improve the build. Barcoon is very good for me. My inventory is nothing but small items. I've been holding these coins for a while.
Smaller than Quixel. I'll never resell this. This is a gift.
All right, so we have 52 gold now. Thanks for the extra 9, Barcoon. I was thinking earlier, is like pulse rifle better than first aid and the Chris Army knife? Not really. This will give more charging to the armored core by 1 second on Chris Army knife plus the extra 1 every 4. Which is nice, but it's not getting the charge on Armadillo, which is less nice. I just can't justify it in its current state. Railgun's a scary card, but I don't have the ability to pivot into it with what I currently have. Yeah, nothing to do here.
Is it because I talk too slow?
All right, 1 win Vanessa. Surely this time they won't have a 700 damage Langdon with 50% crit chance. Rush, slow. Oh, this is actually scary as hell looking. It's fine. Their build's not scary as hell at all, but like the potential is there with rush and trains and just good base damage. I will say I wasn't expecting slow 3 items for 5 seconds. It's a bit more than I think Docklines normally does at this point in the game. Holy shit. I think I lose. Let me go look up Docklines real quick. Excuse me? So he has +2 slow duration on his golden Docklines on day 5. That's a bit fucked. That seems completely average, just like the Langdon. Well, here I'll go to JJ because the other options are just fairly weak, but like... All right, Metronome, how did you make my build good? What about Crane? I'm gonna pick up the Metronome. I can't imagine that anything I have is turning into a Crane build right now. Unfortunately, I love Crane builds. Weapons aren't great for me. It's really just a couple of minor upgrades. I'm gonna go random event here. All right, let's see some crazy enchants. I don't know about Power Drill here. Heavy remote's not really relevant. Yeah, Power Drill's just sadly not gonna be relevant to my build. Heavy Pylon. Oh, that's the wrong one. It just slows for 2 now. That's completely useless. Well, it's not completely useless. It's obviously still about as good as a normal Pylon, but doubling slow from 1 to 2 is worse than most items getting a slow enchant. Heavy Missiles is obviously pretty scary.
I see you're still.
I've got the gold. It's probably better than Armadillo for the time being.
Lie languid in the river of time.
I'm gonna go gold skills generically, hoping to find some crazy shield scaling here. Missiles isn't a vehicle, right? No. That is pretty goddamn rough. I guess my opponent better watch out if they start freezing, man. That's all I've got.
We Sphinxians thank you.
Don't really care to try to play a crook build. Hold up, actually. My build is pretty much just trash right now. I just got my level 7 upgrade last day, so I wouldn't be able to go into crook anyway. You have to be pretty severely under leveled to try to turn into a crook off that. So I think I'm just gonna push experience here since none of these really have anything for me. Yeah, there's nothing here for me, and I feel like my build is just... This is precisely why I said I don't really feel like I get shield core builds. Because I have absolutely run into people on like day 14, and they have shield core, and I just instantly take 12,000 damage from a crit force field after 2 seconds. But I don't understand the build before the part where I'm getting fucked on day 14. Spare change, temp boost, medium items. I'll try medium items.
Have what you need? I'll help you find who does.
I regret everything.
Leave it behind, someone else finds it. It all works out.
I think I go to Fens. I am a scaling build. Fens is inherently good for me. And again, if I don't know what the items are doing, guaranteed good. Oh, right, yeah. Fens has options other than 5 regen. I should remember they exist. The plus shield is obviously incredible for this build. Nothing to think about, nothing to change. Actually, hold up. Chris Army Knife is almost certainly worse than Metronome, I think. Just because the haste on the core is very meaningful. And I no longer care about the shield on Chris Army Knife because, like, Armadillo is not on the board. This should be pretty meaningful slow against a Crook build, which I assume this is. And he's only at Silver Crook. Oh, he got the Crook from the guy just now. That's why he has the gold Ganjo instead of the gold Crook. He didn't have it before his level 7 upgrade. Big Silk, though. Anyway, his damage output's just not great, so I will outscale and kill with Forcefield. This fight would look very different if he had a gold Crook. I might have actually lost. I'm not quite sure how that would math out. It would definitely still be going on right now. I would not have scaled to 1,000 shield yet. Day 7, down 2 wins. Unfortunately, they are pretty high prestige wins, but this is not a bad spot for a build to be. Tools is a fairly small bunch of items. The issue is looking at them. They're not items I want. I think I'm gonna go 2 gold and a random tool. I could go shield item. Yeah, I'm playing Forcefield, I should. It wasn't very good. I'm gonna take silver loot, hoping to speed up my Forcefield. Or my core, actually, that might be more relevant. Going to go Finn's Big Bite every time I see it and click this item. Or this option, rather. We got Feather, that's exactly what you want to see. And here, I think it's gotta be Thug. Like, as much as I want to go for max experience, this guy has literally nothing I care about. Thug has Bonk. Yep, let's go. Thug has Bonk and a 40 gold option.
Here. Okay.
Oh my god, we actually have Bonk. Well, that makes our build tremendously better. It's a lot easier to stack up your shield when your opponent's items are massively delayed. We'll keep going small items, see if we can find something better. Upgrading the Metronome's actually a big deal. LEDs used to be sick at 4 seconds. At 5 seconds with a relatively slow core, I don't think there's any place in my build for that. Don't really see the reason for Beta Ray again, slow core, need scaling and everything else. I will take Crypto, it's just free money, but we're out. I will take a random fight happily every single time. What's your criteria again? When do you slow? Charge this 2 seconds and it gains 50 damage. At Diamond, it goes to 75. I do have a half decent source of slow, but like, having just left the LEDs on the table and being this deep into a Forcefield build, I don't really see myself pivoting to it. Is it Bonk or Bonk? It's Bonk, right? Sorry, I'm very smart most of the time, I promise. Enchant with Lifesteal seems pretty weak. I'm probably gonna enchant an item randomly, but then that gets into what I even want to put it on. The awkward thing is if you get the shield enchant, you really desperately want it on duct tape. If you get anything else, you really don't want it on duct tape. Is there a world where it becomes Armadillo? Actually, just taking Lifesteal on the Forcefield's not that bad. Because then it helps me to cancel out poison builds, like there's no more risk of dying to them. I think I would rather take the Artist because shield will double my damage output, Obsidian's still an option, heal is basically Obsidian but better, and then if I get turbo, haste, whatever, it's not that bad on Forcefield. I think taking the Artist on Forcefield is the way to go, but I really don't like the Artist. I much prefer the old system with 3 different enchants. Huh. So I'm a burn build now, is what you're saying? Because now I deal 10% of my shield as burn? This is gonna get fucking weird. This is gonna get real weird. Same wins, we're both having slightly rough runs at the minute.
I'm a bit of a legend.
I should have checked their prestige, because if they're at like 17 prestige, they're doing absolutely gross things. Yeah, they're winning late. Their build's not that crazy. Like, it's not bad at all, but... Am I able to outshield this? The torpedo's pretty fucked up. Probably not. Although I do appear to have massively more health than them. 70 burn, huh?
You should put it toward
Okay.
nobler use.
I wasn't really thinking about it, but yeah, taking random on Forcefield because of the new enchants is kind of massive. It's the only thing that's going to use poison or burn well. Cinders is actually not bad. Huh. The base value on weapons or upgrades is like such an unimportant detail for this build. I think I'm going to go take Cinders. I'm going to toss that, I guess. Yeah, +2 burn. That's not irrelevant. Choose a free loot. Give me a feather or a wing. It's gotta be the core. Now we have the awkward decision of rock for feathers, and for a lesser degree for the possibility of cosmic wind later. Or we can go here when you slow charge an item 1 second with heavy missiles. Pretty much rock solid. It's also the most XP. I'm gonna take that. Heavy missiles having charge 2 on it would make my build much, much better. The rest of this is all wholly irrelevant, especially improved toxins. Yeah, just like the random 40 burn from the enchant's actually huge. The random 100 burn from the enchant now. I don't know that I feel strong, but I feel like people will lose to me and get upset, which I think is the most important part of the game. You can go non-weapons or Pearl. First Aiden's pretty random and kind of
Yataria?
unimportant. This isn't that great either.
Where shall we start?
I can just take money, but sitting at 97 gold, that feels wrong. Icy Arc Blaster is probably not it. Crit chance on the core is not a big deal. The core values are just not that high. It scales other things. Oh, you poison too. I was wondering what this does. It doesn't scale poison. I mean, that's gonna be a lot of money eventually. I should just take this. Instead of spending another 40 gold, I should walk away with an extra 40 gold. But instead, we're gonna waste all our money here trying to get more powerful and failing. I'm not sure that scaling the haste and damage on missiles matters. Like, obviously, the haste at times not perfect right now, but I don't think that's the play. Do I just take the metronome upgrade for full haste on the core and for missiles? Honestly, metronome meaningfully improves my build. I'll take it. I've got to take shield skills. There's some crazy stuff in here.
Defense. You'll barely even need an offense.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, I'll take that one. Diamond titanium casing, day 8, huh?
Always have.
You sure that's allowed? Jesus Christ.
Eat up, bulk up, get.
3rd plus shield at Fens? My shield scaling is tremendously better than it was a second ago.
Go ahead.
I went from feeling like I don't really know why I should win, but I'm capable of winning, to feeling very strong. Seeing as they are a damage build, they should just be completely, utterly fucked. 2 actually puts Ramrod on their board. Oh wait, it's only 5 seconds now. It's not being reduced by anything either. They finally made it not 8 seconds. It's still not very good, but like, hey, at least it does something now. Also, yeah, it appears to be dead. I spent most of the night being happy that Ramrod was not 8 seconds anymore. Still not good, but at least it's like not laughably bad. It's not Fuel Rod tier anymore. Small burn item, chocolate bars, poison items. gonna be honest, there's really not a poison item that could be good. I could go here and roll looking for other things that happen to have been enchanted with poison. Or I could just take chocolate bars for guaranteed health, and that seems like the far more sensible thing to do. Oh, we got the artist again. I mean, we always go to the artist here. That's guaranteed.
They're so dull. Let me brighten them.
Is this all items? Yeah, so the core does scale itself now, making the shielded core slightly less bad. So right now, with the duct tape, I'm really not triggering that many uses of shield. If I get shielded on Armadillo, obviously Armadillo becomes pretty damn good, fairly fast, and it's worth replacing the missiles. If I get anything else, it's probably not better.
We have been here
If it's
before.
burn, it's better, because I actually have burn from other sources now. If it is poison, it would be worse. If it is radiance, it would be worse. Turbo or haste would be worse. I think I just enchant the core here. Oh. You don't say. Oh, the enchant actually follows the rules. I wonder how universal freezing doesn't affect large items is. I assume large items don't get this text. I was not expecting the enchant to say medium or small item. Big ego, 1 in 11. The rest doesn't matter. Or literally nothing I care about. I'll take 1 in 11 at Big Ego, to be honest with you. That's just, this skill is so game warping. Like 10 out of 11 times, I'm down 2 experience for nothing. 1 out of 11 times, the chance of going 10 wins is very nearly 100%. It's not actually that good, but it's a fucking insane skill. Yeah, nice set. Get burn, get skills. I'm gonna have to go with skills. I feel like skills are the secret sauce for this sort of build. I could just settle for Frostfire and take freeze when the force field goes off. It's not bad at all. But I really want some insane scaling. Yeah, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I replaced missiles with something smaller, I get cooldown reduction. Not really a huge deal. I don't burn that often. I think I just take the early upgrade on my core and then bring something else to a higher rank. The issue is that it won't really matter. Like, getting more haste on Metronome is irrelevant. More damage is irrelevant. Slightly more haste on First Aiden, I guess. Like, that's what I'm getting, is the ability to upgrade First Aiden. No, I'll get a gold skill instead. This is essentially getting me a reroll at the gold skill instead of making me level this up on level 13. And I think that's the best option. Also, it makes me a lot stronger today. Did I just have a full inventory when I clicked that? Yeah, I'm still full up chocolate bars. Well, that makes the chocolate bars decidedly suboptimal. Definitely worse than a random gold loot item. Oh well. I think I go gumballs, right? If shield gumballs are good, and they are, gumballs get a lot better. My mouse accuracy is a little bit terrible today, apparently. I'm actually very glad Bob is gone. I was getting braced to be like, Bob's not the best build in the game, but it's certainly the easiest way to get an 8 out of 10 build that auto wins the early game. It's like a relief to see pigs and not be thinking about Beast of Burden anymore. What in the hell? He went to a heal store and bought everything? And then everything gets boosted by apropos chapeau? The problem is he doesn't deal damage, so he's just dead. Also, he has 450 burn. Not that he's alive, but like that part's pretty funny. So we're at 312 on the duct tape at the end of that, which is how many uses, actually? Only 5 uses of the core. So it's about 60 shield every time the core goes off. In fact, I'm going to bet, yeah, it's 55. You can just count it. It's 25.50. I don't know why I was doing the math to figure it out. 5 freezes for 2 seconds. Tons of haste out of this guy. First Aid and trying his best. Getting First Aid and upgraded would be nice. It means there's a lot more haste going to this side of the board, specifically Forcefield. But it's not a huge deal. At this point, I'm less about trying to upgrade First Aid and more about trying to find, like, something genuinely better than him. I mean, I could go to Barcoon. I could also just get chocolate bars, and I'm pretty happy with just getting chocolate bars. Spare change, tip boost, non-weapons. Let's go non-weapons, see what's here.
No weapons? Leave with big.
Sure.
I'm so glad.
I don't think this can matter, but like if there's a big slow build that's really interrupting me, it could be relevant. Just toss these now before I mess something up. Is there a reason not to go to Colossus here? I don't believe so. Nah. Wait, actually, hold up. Is that ammo item or something else? When you use a small item, charge a large item. I don't have that many small items, but I could change that, theoretically. Juggler's kind of insane. The issue with Juggler, of course, is that I have to give up 3 guaranteed experience. The gold doesn't matter. There are also perfectly fine skills here that I am more likely to get. I can't give up the guaranteed experience to try to get Juggler. Juggler's obviously good with Forcefield, but I don't even have the small items to make it good right now. Oh, it's so gross, because like it just doesn't do that much for a while until it goes to the moon. Oh. I don't really need the gold, and I think that's bait. So I don't need to upgrade anything. All of my upgrades are super trivial, so we get a new gold skill. Huh? Hopefully it's actually relevant.
I'm just a man who has lived a long time.
Okay, 10% cooldown on this is pretty massive. It's not active currently, but I could build to make it happen. Mixed Messages also basically just charges the force field instantly. I think I'd rather like roll for a start of fight shield effect though. Well, I got a little bit fucked there. We still have something though, just like initial chill's quite good.
You learn skills quickly, but it takes patience.
Take a random loot item, hope for feathers and wings. Do I want 3% on one or 6% on everything? Very tough decision. Going to take the experience here. If I max roll, I level up. Did not hit the 1 and 3. Sell this before the fight. Nothing is gold scaling, so I don't have to worry about like selling that now. There's no way this ever hits my board. He is on death's door. If he's a burn build, he might just shut my shield down by burning too much. If he's a shield build, he might be faster than me. He's a railgun build, I might just be dead. Full tech railgun. Except for the shielded duct tape, not the shielded, the duct tape next to the shield core. It doesn't appear to track its shield, which is good for me. This build's not as fast as I'd expected it to be. I don't know, I see Diamond Railgun full tech board and expect it to do more than this. I guess the fact that he's using duct tape and induction aegis on the right side is just like really not good for that build. I didn't really appreciate how insane it was that he was still trying to scale shield with a railgun. You just need the core going off as fast as possible to keep the railgun going. 5 gold, chocolate bars, weapons. Gold's just worthless, so I keep going for chocolate bars. Sell this legendary artifact from the gods to afford more premium chocolate. Now, normally, it's just like you see Adira, you click Adira, but that was last meta when Adira only offered these items. She can offer every skill in the game now, making her a lot less valuable. Whereas Fortis is actually tutoring only relevant skills to my build, so I'm not going to click on Adira.
Enemy's face when they realize they just can't hurt you.
Electrified Hold's just really not all that good. Critical Protector is nice for scaling crit, but it's not that much. They're just much better shield skills than what I'm seeing there. Yeah, that's plus 28 shield. And I will take plus 28 shield.
Hitting you? Or are they hitting themselves with you?
And time to juggle the gumballs again. I don't think I'm gonna go fight Void Golem, actually. That sounds like a fucking horrible mistake. So I guess we have our chance at Juggler after all. It is genuinely kind of crazy. Like, it's the sort of thing where I'm like, all right, how do I drop missiles to make Forcefield go off significantly more often? Maybe I should have gone for it the first time. It's just the fact that I have like a Chris Army Knife and nothing in the bank right now, and a Metronome that becomes tremendously worse. Like, this is very good. If I get Juggler, I have to find a way to cut it. So it's not even transparently obvious that it makes my build better. I could get a bit of extra gold by going there now, selling these two. I'm gonna go to Parle and look for something. Who knows what?
Because you're gonna get dirty.
Twice the value of adjacent items. Well, this is unsellable, so it's not gonna work out for me. Oh, this is Throne Net, not Tripwire. Bit of damage doesn't seem like it's what you're looking for on a day 11 Parle with 100 gold. Shielded Pylon. When you slow, shield 30 with heavy missiles. That can't be right. You'd basically have to cut First Aiden, Diamond Metronome, and Duct Tape. It's a really cool item. It just doesn't fit in the build in any capacity. Sadly, my core does not deal damage, and I'm not looking for the Obsidian Chris Army Knife to sit in my stash. What the hell is this? Medium Dragon item, Dragon's Breath, 8 seconds, 8 burns. When you use an adjacent or dragon item, this gains +3 burn for the fight. It's a Mac item. It's a cool design. It doesn't seem very good right now, but it is definitely a cool design. Golden Crypto. I'm gonna stretch my legs and think on this. I can walk away right now with Golden Crypto, which is worth 40 gold, so I could walk out of here with 110 gold. Or I can roll 6 more times and leave a bankrupt, demoralized man.
I don't take those myself.
I'm taking the Golden Crypto. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna spend all my gold here for nothing. Because that's what happens when I stay in this room. Do I level up on this one? Actually, it was guaranteed. I couldn't have failed. All right, let's check out our new loot item. I mean, sure, happily. That's not nearly enough. Just gonna toss these now so I don't run into the 5-slot problem on, like, gumballs or something. 5 wins on Pig? What are you doing? Obviously, he's not crooking anybody. He's got gold equals damage, but not a lot of damage. He has a diamond, Pig's Gem, and a yo-yo. I feel appropriately scared, but good start of combat freezes, by the way. I think he's just dead then. 389 on the yo-yo? That Pig's Gem was pretty fucking valuable. If it went to 389 on, I think, 1 use, that must have been 2 uses, surely. Surely that was 2 uses. That's 250 value on the Pig's Gem. How do you have 2,000 less health than me if this, oh, I see. Wait, no, that's not the one that doubles its value. This doubled value, so it's only 125, which isn't as crazy. Still though, being 2,000, well, no, 1,500 health up on a pig is pretty good. I feel good, I feel great about that. Chocolate bars again, huh? What's gold for if not 150 health every day? Oh, Parle, I can never resist you. I don't know why I'm calling her Parle instead of Pearl. I could have sworn her name was spelled funny, but it's definitely not. Deadly Railgun, that's pretty neat. Salt, gotta stop going over them. I'll learn how to move them out without going over them and reopening the overlay eventually. Huh. I think I don't want that, honestly. Yeah, it's just much slower. It doesn't speed me up. So Hammer hasn't been re-added to the fight, but it is in the game again. Additionally, I have... Hello, Golden Crypto. I see you want to go back home. Yeah, I'm going to take the hammer, because I have the number of tools required with Knife Block.
But I guess you can keep it.
Like, it's not a huge upgrade. I do appear to have just disconnected a little, though. And since I don't want Armadillo, I am going to sell him now. With Duct Tape, Hammer, and Knife Set, when you level up, if you have at least 3 tools, upgrade an item of the lower tier. Yeah, no longer lets you control what item you upgrade. You have to get through all of them. The old Hammer, where you just picked an upgrade every level, was absolutely insane. This is still a great item, but it's not quite as broken. Gonna be honest, freezing my own items at combat start's not a big deal. Missiles goes off, and then, like, everything's great from there. It's a bad and like against a weapon build, but against anything else, I'm not losing that much time on it. Like, Blizzard's not awful for me, but I think I am gonna go for Juggler again. It is a much lower experience cost against the diamond enemy than against the legendary enemy, but also it's just like a later day where experience is getting, in my eyes, a little bit less valuable. I'm already massively ahead of my enemies. Like, I was up 1.5 to health on a pig just now. I'm okay. Come on, Juggler. Let me read Catalyst again. Yeah, it doesn't actually activate. It's just one-way metronome. I'm gonna go Aerodrome rolls and try to find an enchant location, I think. I'll take a wing. That's great. It's a pretty bad wing, but I'll still take it. Toss this, toss that, so that when I level up, I don't upgrade it. And let's go risk some coin. Got an upgrade on the first Aiden. And I'm definitely going gold tier skills, because my upgrades don't actually matter that much.
Just a man who has lived a long time.
Tiny Dancer is obviously good. The issue is that, like, I have to replace the heavy missiles, which is rather core to my build at the minute. When you crit, your shield items gain 10 shield. I don't go off that fast. And I don't have a vehicle either. So I have to roll that, unfortunately. I can't take Tiny Dancer on the hope that it'll be good later. 24% crit on the most important item of my build seems pretty fucking good, though. Oh, and you crit in a lump sum, so it's 4 times damage and burn if it crits.
My fight isn't
Because it'll crit the shield, which is effectively doubling the value you get on the damage as well. He is also bonking me. It goes both ways. What the fuck is this? Is something turbo here? What's your build supposed to do? You just have an iceberg and then like a shark ray that you're not actually scaling. I will say, the Cove just having that much shield value is pretty good. We have stacked up 600 burn at this point, because the shark race is constantly frozen and unable to deal with the shield. This is the ugliest fight I've ever watched. I hated every second of that. Iceberg, both players have bonk. His offense is terrible and his defense is incredible, and my build's just not able to smoothly trigger itself because of the bonk berg. Oh, that was awful to watch. Oh god, that's the last fight. That hideous abomination is how I got to 10 wins. I'm gonna be honest. We might have gone 10 wins. The build might even be kind of okay for like day 12. I don't feel like this is a 10-win build. I don't feel like I've thoroughly understood how to make Forcefield reliably good in the late days. I've scaled up enough. My build does enough, but it doesn't feel cracked. It doesn't feel like the sort of thing where anyone would see this and think, oh man, shield build is OP. Look how good the shield core is. I've seen much better builds using Forcefield where it's just like you start with half your health in Forcefield and instantly trigger the Forcefield. That, like, this feels so fair in all the worst ways. It wasn't bad, but I'm left scratching my head, which is, even when I win with the shield core, I feel like I'm not quite getting it. Maybe someday I will. One of my biggest takeaways from the current patch really genuinely is I do not like the new enchant system. I feel like it's really hard to get to your like level 10 and feel good about it. One of my favorite things in the last patch was that leveling up felt good and rewarding, and the artist doesn't. Although in this case, like, it single-handedly won the game by giving me Fiery Forcefield and massively increasing my damage scaling, it didn't feel good or clever to just be like, it's better to click on random. That decision point is so much less interesting than the decision point of figuring out which enchant is best. But yeah, just deal burn equal to 10% of your shield is a really strong effect, it turns out. I will say the Icy Armored Core definitely helped. I'd probably lose that last fight if I hadn't random into this. And Heavy Missiles has been doing like a pretty relevant amount of disruption all game long. There were a lot of different things where I was offered, where like the Gold Tiny Dancer just now, for instance, where I've basically just been locked into Heavy Missiles because double triggering this next to the Diamond Metronome is enough to fully haste forever the Icy Armored Core, which will then fully haste the Heavy Missiles back. And the Heavy Missiles is just like a lot of disruption. Slow 2 for 1 twice every 3.5 seconds, but it's half of that because it's permanently hasted. Like, this is not an item that has anything to do with my build. It's just good enough that I never found a clean way to replace it. Which is also kind of where First Aiden lives, but First Aiden's much more random. He's at least fast, right? Like, they are relevant insofar as they're both fast and hasting, which is making the core go off more, but it feels like a cobbled together fair build. It doesn't feel like some of the more busted, broken things I've seen. And theoretically, I think maybe every build should feel like this one. It should feel like you've cobbled together a bunch of fair things into like a substantially above average strong thing, as opposed to like last match where I would play Dooley builds on like day 10 and they'd be at like 600 burn at 10 seconds. So like, maybe the game is in a better state now. I tend to think that as the power level drops in Bazaar, the meta feels better. I feel very weird about Shield Core. I think the moment I picked Shield Core, there was no way the video ended with anything other than me like going on a rant about the state of the game and not really thinking my build was that good. Because that's just where I'm at with Shield Core, and it would be hard for a run to convince me otherwise. I'm going in circles over here, you get the idea. I've been Rather Coherent, thank you for your time. If you made it this far, then please do hit all the buttons, like, comment, subscribe. That nonsense really does boost the channel up in the algorithm and help it grow quite a lot. And a massive thank you to everyone supporting this channel, both as patrons over on Patreon and here on YouTube as channel members. I'll see all of you in the next one.